Hey, it's Justin Popovich here, and right now I'd like to walk you through just a little scenario of something that I see coming up quite a bit, and it's something that I actively promote. And what it is, you can look at it on my screen here. It is a private deal for basically a bulk discount on PLR. So this particular example, my friend Sue Fleckenstein has put together a 5-pack of PLR, all geared around sort of business and marketing topics, where you can get 5 PLR products by purchasing basically for one purchase. So you get 5 licenses for one deal. And the topics kind of range. There's a social media topic, WordPress, coaching programs, mobile-friendly websites, and email marketing series. So if I actually just scroll the bottom here, you'll get a quick summary here. So you can see that each one has, articles, a report, graphics, videos, slide decks, tweets, and so on. So it's a ton of content, and you don't necessarily need to look at this and go, okay, there's all this content, and now I need to implement every single checkpoint here, or it's not worth it. The reason I like deals like this is you can look at it as a batch of content and look at the topics. So for example, do you cover things in your marketing or in your business where you help people with social media or with using WordPress or coaching programs, mobile-friendly websites, or internet marketing in general? If any of those topics, if even just one of them kind of fits some of the things that you do, and you can acquire all of this content for a price of around $17, and it's probably going to change based on when this deal is. It's an increasing price deal. But that's how I like to look at these things, is I'm getting this massive pile of content, and if even a few pieces are worthwhile and I can implement them and use them in marketing or in terms of content that I plan to sell, then this is a valuable investment. Because when I hire writers, the starting price for a lot of our writers is like $200 even just for a package of articles. So yeah, the content is unique and freshly built for me, but there's a time delay. I've got to hire the writer, I've got to assign them the work, and I've got to wait for them to deliver it, and I've got to go out of pocket, $150, $200, $250 in some cases. So here we're looking at, let's call it 20. It's $17. Let's call it 20. Can I get $20 worth of value from this giant bundle of content? Now, for me personally, I definitely talk about things like social media. I talk about WordPress from time to time, especially in our training videos in some of my PLR programs. Coaching programs, even mobile-friendly websites is something I like to make sure that people are aware of, and I'm aware of. So for me, I could easily make use of a deal like this if I'm spending $20 to get all of that content. So that's sort of how I look at things like this. Now, what I've done here is I've actually downloaded all of the content from this particular offer so you can see it. Let me just make it a little bigger here. And it's, like I said, it's 5 packages, and they kind of break down into giant archives here. So there's the marketing series, mobile friendly websites, social media PLR, starting a coaching program, and WordPress PLR. So what I'd like to do, like let's say for example, social media is something I wouldn't call myself an expert on, but I do have some opinions, and I do have some scenarios that I like to share with my friends and my customers where I've gone into social media situations and it's worked for me in my business. It's helped me get attention. It's helped me get people either into my sales funnels or actually become customers. And so I have some opinions on that stuff, but I don't necessarily have them formed yet. I don't necessarily know exactly what I want to say, but I do know there are certain things. If you were to come up to me and ask me, what is your opinion on social media, or you can give me some tips, I could give you a few of the things that have worked for me. So what I would do is I would go into like a PLR pack like this as an example, and I would look at the articles. So let's actually look at a few of the titles here of the articles. Are you getting real results from your social media? Choosing the right social media marketing tools. I like that one actually. Let's take a quick peek in here. So they're going, I'm not going to read it all, but they're going into certain tools like automating your social media, how to find an audience. So things like Hootsuite, Social Mention, TweetDeck. In what is it, 10 seconds, I took a brief look at this article, and I'm already seeing tools that I've used. So as an example, I've used Hootsuite and I've used TweetDeck in my business to actually get real results. So what I would do is I would open a doc like this, and here it is. And I would actually grab some of the content out of here. So I might say, okay, here's a section on time-saving tools, finding an audience, and social media automation. So right down here, the TweetDeck one. So I'm going to grab that section of the article. And then I'm going to go over to Evernote. Now, in Evernote, if you don't use this app, I highly recommend it. Evernote's a great app for organizing all different kinds of information. So what I've done here is I've created a notebook in Evernote. It's just a sample one for now, called Content Ideas. So I often need content in my business, whether I'm writing email broadcasts, if I'm creating YouTube videos that market what I do, if I'm preparing webinars to sell. I need ideas and content to draw from when I'm building those content pieces. So what I might want to do is create a note in Evernote called social media tips, different things that are going to help me when I want to give people tips on my opinions of social media. So I would create a note in here, and I could grab some of that article and put it right in here. I've already started this note. So now I've got this little Evernote with a running dialogue of different things that I want to share when it comes to social media. So as an example, even this article can be broken down because it goes into a few different aspects of social media. So earlier I mentioned social media automation. So let me actually highlight that section of the article. And for now, you know what, let me actually remove additional content. I can paste this in later. But what I'm trying to do here is give myself some very specific usable content. And I should also point out really quickly that the PLR pack from Sue, if you look at the licensing, I'm allowed to use all of this content as web publishable. It can be blog posts, it can be shared on document sharing websites or on social media posts. I'm not forced to sell the content as an example, like you would with an ebook or a video PLR course in some cases. So this is great. I can use this content anywhere I want, and I'm always the main thing I need for content is marketing material, stuff I can spread all over the place with links back to my websites. I want to sell stuff, right? So here is a few paragraphs on social media automation. One of them talks about Hootsuite. This last one talks about TweetDeck. Well, here is a piece of pre-written content about TweetDeck. So let's read it really quickly. Another great tool you can use is tweetdeck.com, which at one time was a desktop app. Now it's purely web-based and has a multitude of functions. It's free and offers real-time tracking, monitoring for keywords and hashtags, and it goes on. So let's say, for example, earlier I mentioned that I'm always trying to generate new ideas for content. One of the biggest ones for me is email broadcasts. I like to add value to my customers when I send email broadcasts. I don't like to just say, hey, look at this thing, go buy it. I want to add a bit of flavor to it, some of my experience or some context around why I'm promoting it. So maybe one day I'm going to be talking about automation, and maybe specifically going to be talking about marketing automation. Well, I could use this little explanation about TweetDeck as like a little teaser, and then that could maybe promote a social media product that we build on Twitter. TweetDeck's a Twitter-based app, right? So I could use this little piece of content here to help me set the stage, which for me, this is really important because now I don't have to invent it out of the blue. It's like, oh, I've got some stuff here on TweetDeck. Let me paste that into my broadcast or into my blog post. And then from there, I'll go above and beyond. So if I was explaining TweetDeck to you right now, I would start here. I would maybe leave all of this as an example, but then I'd expand it. I'd actually start giving you some examples. So like, I won't type them out right now to save time in this video, but I would actually tell you stories about how when I used to use TweetDeck, what I would do is I would set up a multitude of columns, and each column was a specific keyword or hashtag. And when I was doing offline marketing, there were specific words that I was searching for. So I did local marketing in a town where I live called Orangeville. So I wanted to see all tweets when anybody mentioned the word Orangeville. Before I knew it, I was starting to get a huge list of people in my TweetDeck feed of anybody mentioning Orangeville, and that allowed me to reach out to those people, to follow them, to send them direct messages, to retweet them, and start getting on their radar. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, it could even be used for something like consumer products, right? If you're about to buy a new Ford Flex or something like that, right? You could actually do a column in TweetDeck on Ford Flex and look at, the different articles and posts coming out about it. I'm sure a lot of it will be marketing material, but you may get, user reviews. People tweet out their little review on how much they loved or didn't love that vehicle, and it can help you. So there is a whole blog post, mini course, information piece about TweetDeck, and it all started with me grabbing this one little paragraph of text from a PLR product, and I've got a huge opportunity to turn this into content in my business. Now, this is just one Evernote Evernote note where I'm going to be storing social media tips. Over time, I would have a whole bunch of different notes on different mediums or different ideas of content that I plan on using, and I would draw them out of that PLR I was mentioning earlier. So going back over here, as an example, maybe if I wanted to do more than just social media, if later I wanted to get into some WordPress stuff, then I might want to pull up the report that Sue wrote about WordPress. Let's actually do that here, the PDF. And let's look at the chapter list. So how to choose a WordPress theme. Must have plugins. That's a big one, right? A lot of people that are just setting up a new sales page or site want to know what plugins to have. Well, here are some plugin suggestions where she's talking about plugins that cover site speed and social engagement, email marketing, SEO, and so on. Now, I'm not a WordPress expert per se, but I use it, and these are some things that I definitely agree with. So again, that could go into my little Evernote for WordPress tips, right? I can set up a little WordPress tips cheat file here or note file so that future content, whatever it is I'm publishing, is in here. So I like this little combo of being able to take these bulk deals like Sue has and then pulling out what I need, even if it's just 2 or 3 articles here and there, maybe some pre-written tweets like I pasted down here, maybe it's some graphics or a video, whatever it may be. I can totally get $20 worth of value out of this, and that's what the whole purpose of this video is, just to show you that you don't necessarily have to use a PLR product the way you see it on the sales page. Use it to your advantage, and use it as a tool to help you come up with content creation ideas. So hopefully that gives you a little perspective on this and helps you make a decision on not only Sue's offer, but anytime you see a really good deal on PLR, think of it this way: can I get more value than the price tag? And if so, if you can get an asset that you can use in your business over and over again, that's probably a good buy for you. And if you can't, then it's not a good buy. So hopefully that helps you decide. Thanks for watching this, and let me know if you have any questions. This has been Justin Popovich. See you later.